All right, what's up, everybody? This is Coach Ryan with Project Fresh. We're just waiting for our YouTube here to go live. So we should be popping up here shortly. Might catch. There it goes. Yeah, nice. So we are good to go for both. Have successfully actually need to do this and use that summary. It should be good. All right, cool. So this is our weekly broadcast for every Monday, excuse me, at Mountain Standard Time. We come on and we talk about what we specialize in as far as our industry, health and wellness. Very specifically, very simply, we pinpoint the areas where you're not successful. Health and wellness is a very broad category. There's a lot of different ways to improve both your health and wellness. Fresh effectively stands for fitness, recreation, education, primarily in nutrition, sanctity, which is kind of more of the spiritual inner health. So in the spiritual category of the different areas being mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and so on. And then H if for fresh is overall health or just health simply. So there's a lot of different ways that we can effectively assist somebody, but what we specify in is addressing those areas that our clients just can't figure out. Okay. And that could be you've gotten success, but you don't know how to maintain it. You have had success avoid you like the plague, and that as you would avoid the plague, I should say, success has avoided you. And so our premise is to dial in for you what is missing, what is the missing piece, so that you can achieve success. And then if you're on the other side where it's maintenance and it's impacting the lifestyle you want to have, how to maintain it without sacrificing relationships, sacrificing work time, or whatever else. Today I'm talking about intentional preparation. We're in December. By the way, hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a phenomenal one. As far as the holiday, we're now in December, the 2nd, and just shy of 3 weeks from Christmas on Wednesday, which is crazy to think. Wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, 3 weeks away from Wednesday to Christmas, which is wild. So with that being said, the holidays are full-fledged. The mochas and drinks and desserts and all kinds of things are wildly available, especially if you had any leftovers from Thursday. Not to mention everything that's coming with travel and holiday parties and work parties and friends get-togethers and family get-togethers and all the other activities that you do, and the desire to get together over food and enjoy one another's company. Lots of food, lots of drinks, lots of booze, lots of all kinds of different delectables, and often the MO is to wait until January to start thinking about health again. And I'll tell you this, you can both have a good time and be intentional in your preparation. Preparation is simply practice or repeating the habits, repeating the tasks that would otherwise give you the desired outcome. And so that is very simply eating and exercising well and doing so consistently long enough to see the results that you want to see, right? Instagram cannot see both my hands. So both having a good time, but also being intentional about what's going to keep you in play for the desired outcomes that you want to see. So I'm going to give you guys a few different examples. Part of my preparation for 2025 is finishing this book, Margin, which specifically talks about restoring emotional, physical, financial, and time reserves to overloaded lives. This one is really just kind of, I literally want to explore the idea of margin in my life, which has been exceptionally difficult with the high level of what shall I say, the high level of goals that I have, kind of the type A personality, drive hard, and even recovering perfectionism that I've had, ultimately, um, margin is a word that is difficult to uh, engage with, if you will, when there are so many different things that pull on my attention and how goal driven I can be. I would be much more inclined to read a book like this that would instill deep work. And it's not to say that I don't need it, but it's also not to say that I haven't done a lot of deep work as well. So a lot of that right now is really just kind of getting an understanding of, for me personally, what is it that the Lord wants me to do in the season, me being a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. What is it that He has for me? I know for sure that as far as my calling, it's health. It is working with people on taking care of this one body all the way top to bottom. Excuse me. That is the number one. Number two is working with and engaging with other men in all aspects of health, emotional, mental, spiritual. We're really good at physical. Guys are good at physical, whether it's building muscle, looks, physicality with the ladies. Like in that context, that is an area of education that is not shy and one that will easily gravitate towards, right? But it's the emotional, it's the mental, it's the spiritual side where there can be those challenge points that determine what kind of life we have. The third vocational calling that I have is in the context of marriage. And over the last 3-4 months or so, pretty much since summertime, my wife and I have engaged with probably about 6 different couples. 3 of them more in a coaching relationship where we're kind of coaching them through the process of engagement or getting started earlier in the marriage. The other 3 more social, a little less frequent, but still blessing to us, something that we've been wanting for a long time, is being engaged with couples. So it's really funny to watch the replay for YouTube. I'm going to have to situate my cameras a little better so that I get more of an even keel here for cameras. So something along the lines of seeing both cameras here together. But anyway, so those I know are what I'm specifically supposed to focus my life on for the rest of life. I know that those are the things that I was made to do. Funny story, my name Sanders literally means helper of man, more or less. So in that context, no surprises there. But ultimately, what's really interesting here is that right now in the season, I'm experiencing a lot of confusion. I'm experiencing a lot of uncertainty. I don't know what it is specifically I need to give way to. Business has been exceptionally tight. Funds have not been ideal. And in that context, that is always the case. And I think that's the same experience for a lot of people right now. Money is tight. The business is not flowing as you would like it to flow. And there is that dissonance on how do I produce more income so that I can take care of the things I need to take care of. And it's in the context of family, in the context of addressing financial challenges, in the context of kind of, I guess, I hate to use the phrase, but getting ahead in life, or let's just say doing things that would improve life's experience, whatever it may be. And so I'm in the season and space where it's like, I don't know. But there is one concept, there is one thing that I think in the context of exploring margin for you, and I'm going to wrap this up while I'm sharing this with you guys, is that if I'm overreaching, overarching, doing too much, not giving myself enough time to relax and to think and to get into what's in here because I'm just too busy running, I set myself up for failure. I set myself up for being frustrated. I set myself up for not giving the relationships that really matter time, like my wife, like myself, neglecting exercise. And so I think with that, I know I've talked on this channel before, one of our book reviews of this one, 10x is easier than 2x. The goals are quite substantial, but as far as I think the strategy that I really want to focus on, and I'll bring us to it, is taking 150 free days per year. The concept of free days is very interesting, but in fact, These are days that are rejuvenation days. So, more or less, it is a day to make yourself young or youthful again, to give new vigor. Rejuvenation is about making yourself, your enthusiasm, your excitement, and your ambitions young again. Who would like that? Who would like to see their you see yourself, your enthusiasm, your excitement, and your ambitions young again? Who would like to experience that? That I think is something that's very important to me. Not to say that I'm old, but a couple of years ago, I realized that I had given up on dreaming. That was a very stark reality that I didn't expect myself to be experiencing, that I had literally given up on pursuing dreams and creating any new dreams because of how much frustration I was experiencing in work. And that's not the first time that's happened for me. There's been many seasons, even some bringing me into depression, I think. And it wasn't clinically assessed, but I knew for sure I was depressed based on my kind of day to day, weekly experience. So I say all this to say that this is a part of my intentional preparation a month in advance for 2025. There's a lot of things that I did not experience in 24 that I would have liked to. There were a lot of learning moments, a lot of difficult challenges that brought about those learning moments for me, which I will take with me throughout the rest of my life. It's caused me to slow down quite a bit. It's really made me think about how I am about my decision making process and whether I make snap judgments and decisions or I allow myself to really critically think about not just the essence of the decision that's made, if it's a good decision or not, but the outcomes of those decisions, the potential outcomes, the energy and effort and investment required to bring about what the hopeful desired outcome is of that decision. There's a lot more to it. I tend to be very focused on uh, playing chess versus checkers, if anybody gets my drift. But ultimately, in intentional preparation, I do have a desire to see a different experience in life. And that experience is mostly centered around my mental health, my ability to be able to be in a more relaxed state in a regular period of time, more regular uh, amounts of time, I should say, and do that consistently as much as possible. So what I'm saying is that I would like to see myself in a relaxed state as often as possible. And I would like to not only do that, but also make sure that I have enough rejuvenation that allows me to be uh, uh, step into those days of focus with as much gusto as desired, as much as needed. Those other days are performance days, so you want to be operating on all cylinders, full blast, and then practice or rehearsal days, otherwise referred to as buffer days in here, where that's more along the lines of organization and preparation, and give myself that opportunity to really dial in on that concept. So, with that being said, very specifically, 150 days out of 365, that leaves me with 215 days roughly in 2025, where there will either be performance, or shall we say, performance days or buffer days. So the performance days, I think he calls them, what does he call those? One more page. Focus days. So 215 focus days. Well, a split of 215 days between focus and buffer days. So it's really interesting. But I think from the examples that he gave for the individuals who utilize this methodology, they were very effective. And so, how do you do this? How do you plan ahead? I'm going to target and aim for planning out all of 2025. I don't know how. I don't know it's going to come about, but I'm going to do the best I can. But the reality is that as I look at some of the things I need to do and I see the competing interests in those things, I realize that one is a distraction of the other. No person can be legitimately doing two things at the same time. I cannot be pursuing a certification and doing all the work and detail and study that's required to be knowledgeable in that particular curriculum or material, while also simultaneously taking on a client and training them at my best and giving them my best as well, right? I just can't do those two things at the same time. Well, we can't be taking care of our family well and going to work and taking care of the house and all these other things all at the same time, right? Simultaneously, that's not possible. Now you can do that within a day, or you can do that within a week. But how you plan that out and how you go about doing it, how you protect and manage and replenish your capacity, your time, your focus, your money, everything else that is you that has a capacity to it that can be drained, that is the key factor. How you do that and how you do it well or don't do it well is going to determine the lifestyle that you have. And so that's what it's all about, is intentional preparation is a key piece to how that goes for you. So I hope in a somewhat belabored way here, you guys have gotten the understanding that being intentional, being forthright, and being, what shall I say, thinking ahead versus procrastinating, right? Preventative or proactive would be the correct word. Being proactive in your approach to preparation intentionally is going to really set the foundation and the groundwork for you to be successful in this. So, for example, this Friday, we have a service panel for our electrical that's going to need to be replaced, which means the power is going to be out for literally 8 hours. I have a couple of sessions that day that I need to be well prepared for. And that means I'm going to have to find both power and internet in a space potentially outside of the house. We'll see. I may be able to make it work where I can just do it right here. Hot spot off my phone, do everything off my computer. It won't be as ideal a system as it is here. I usually have my camera going. So everything as far as making sure all of my items are charged, my storage bank that is an external battery, having that plugged in and ready to go. I guess technically only have one or two plugins that I would need to put into it to make sure that everything functions appropriately. That is something that I would need to do to be ready to go. In addition, probably thinking about the food that I'm going to need to eat during those 8 hours, because as great as it is to fast, I usually stop at 12. So that still leaves me roughly 4 hours of eating. Do I have my food prepared and ready to go so I can pull it out the fridge really quick and eat it cold, because the microwave's not going to work, right? So I can't really prepare or think about foods that need to be warmed up because I don't have anything to warm them up with unless I use the gas. We have gas here at this house, which is great. Something that has been stated not something viable anymore in the state of Colorado. No longer can you build houses with gas currently. That happened in California and then switched back. So we're hoping that it switches back here in Colorado after a few years. But you can start to see the breakdown. I work at home usually. Now I have clients that I go see at an athletic club or occasionally in their house. Outside of that, outside of what I do here. But in the context of Friday, it should be pretty light. We have another piece to the equation I won't talk about yet. Maybe next week I'll introduce it to you guys. Another factor that is takes some of that capacity I was talking about, right? Time, energy, money, etc. It drains those reservoirs. It's a fun one for sure, but I'll talk more about that maybe next week. And the benefits of it, actually, I'm looking forward to in so many different ways. But ultimately, I think what I'm trying to share with you guys is that if you're intentional about it, if you're forward thinking, if you're proactive, your results and your health and wellness are going to come. You're going to do those things that you need to do. Get your protein in. Current recommendation, about 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, ideal body weight being best. So let's say you're at 160 pounds, you prefer to be more at 100 In 50 pounds, so that's your ideal body weight, you take 150 divided by 2.2, whatever that amount is in kilograms, it's going to be a little under 75. So let's just say 70. Take that 70 to maybe 71, 72, and multiply it by 1.6. Whatever that is, clearly it's going to be over 100 grams in this scenario. That's how many grams on average, you could do a range, plus 15, plus 20, minus 15, minus 20, give yourself a range. That's how many grams of protein you need daily. Strength training, 3 times a week would be ideal. If you can get in 3 strength training, 2 minimum every week, ideal to keep muscle tissue building or maintaining. Cardio of your choice, another 2 at least. And then walking regularly, consistently is very important. I think we've really lost out on how much of a sedentary lifestyle the American culture has promoted. You know, Netflix and TV watching and sitting, and everywhere you go, car is going to be far more convenient than a bike or a bus. But ultimately, the difference between the three is the bike requires your physical exertion. The other two do not. Well, bus might require some walking, whereas usually your car is within a few steps of the house, right? So walking is a primary key. If you don't walk at all, I would suggest maybe 3 to 5K steps a day to start with, and progressively increase over the weeks as close to 75 to 10K as you can. If you can get one of those walking pads, I would highly recommend that. Those are very valuable. One-time investment as long as the motor hangs in there over the years. And that can be a great opportunity for you to get your steps up. Obviously, plenty of water, plenty of sleep. 7 to 9 hours is what I usually see for sleep. Half of your body weight, that number in ounces of water is generally what we see for water recommendations. These are the things that are going to promote that ideal lifestyle where you're going to see energy up, you're going to see clarity up, you're going to see proliferation and regulation of your neurochemicals, your hormones optimized. You're going to see your body composition improve, meaning increase in muscle tissue and physique. You're going to see a decrease in fat, especially around the midsection. You're going to see regulation of your thoughts. Your thought life is going to be more improved as you do these things more on a regular basis. You're going to see yourself having the ability to manage stress and anxiety a lot better without doing these things. So again, that all requires intentional preparation. It's not something you just fall into. There's nobody that really kind of comes born with the gene of I'm good at doing these things. There is that maybe small 20% of people who have a great physique and they can eat whatever they want. They can beat their body to a pulp. They can sleep very little and they always look like He-Man or Diana, the Amazonite or Amazonian rather. What can I say her name? Wonder Woman. You know, whatever body type you want to apply to that 20%. They are a smaller percentage of the rest of us. You know, the vast majority, where it is required for us to put in the work. And if mom and dad don't have the great results, chances are you're not going to have the great results either if you don't make a difference about it. So all that being said, intentional preparation, very important. That's the key thing for today. With that being said, these next 3 weeks really are going to determine what kind of foundation you build for yourself for 2025. Now, of course, you can carry that into the last roughly 10 days of the year, 23rd through the 31st, 1st, 2nd. So now we're talking 10, 11 days roughly. Those last 2 major holidays that we're going to be looking at. But again, these next 3 weeks can make all the difference for you, for us. Then how we go about them will determine what the rest of the year looks like and what things look like for us going into 2025. So I hope this has been very insightful for you guys and useful. We'll continue to post on a monthly or on a weekly basis. So I will be here the 9th, the 16th. I think I'll do the 23rd and the 30th too, depending on where my wife and I are at. We're thinking about traveling for Christmas for a few days. So we'll see. But ultimately, my goal is to be in the spot to do the 23rd and the 30th. And hopefully we'll be operating with some new power next time we see you next Monday. after we get done with this electrical work. So that being said, this is Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. You can reach us here either on YouTube or on Instagram. Drop a comment. Preparation for today would be the comment. If you need some assistance with preparing well for optimizing and improving your health and wellness, again, our primary focus is to pinpoint the one thing that is giving you trouble that you either cannot do to reach success or that you have reached success but you cannot maintain it. The one thing that is difficult to assist you in maintaining whatever that level of success is for you, and we can assist you with addressing that and going from there. Again, Ryan Sanders, Project Fresh. Great to see you guys. As always, we'll catch you.